Welcome to the Hyper Guy Motivational Podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. I have two amazing guests. I can't really categorize them, and they've done so much. These two wonderful women. But my guests today are musicians. They're singers. They're producers. They're writers. I can keep going. You two. They're academics because I met them in an academic environment, and they are academics of music as well. And they're just two amazing women, and I'm so happy that they're here. It's
Uh,
Jordan, it's Jordan Dew, and Saude Avery. Thank you guys for being here, you guys.
of
Yes,
course.
we're
Thank you guys so much for having
God,
us.
it's
really
so
excited.
it's interesting because we actually met at a music event, and it's unusual for me to meet anybody when I'm not in the Oakland area. When it's unusual to meet somebody that are from Oakland anymore. So it was very interesting that I met two up and coming artists, and they're both from Oakland.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, a lot of people at USC will say they're from the Bay Area, and then I'm like, oh, I'm from Oakland. Where are you from? And it's always never anything that's the Bay
It's
Area.
like Los Gatos. I'm like, okay.
Right. So it was good to meet someone who's actually from Oakland.
So let me ask both of you. I think both of you know the struggles that Oakland's had over the years, the reputation that Oakland's had, and I think, and we have listeners all over the world. So I guess can you guys kind of give a little bit about what was your experience like growing up in Oakland and how it influenced your music?
Mm.
Well, I guess for me, well, my dad grew up in Oakland, and then he decided to like raise his family in Oakland. So like, it's definitely like we've been living here for like a long time, but it's kind of hard for me because like with my music, like I write a lot of about a lot of different things. And I remember I wrote like one song, I think, that really kind of like showed how my dad kind of grew up in this environment where he was able to like, it was kind of hard because he grew up kind of in the projects area, but he was able to find his way out of that. So I like wrote a song kind of talking about his experience and shedding light on like the what he's been through and how he was able to get out. So I guess for that, like growing up, it's interesting to learn people's perspectives of where they grew up because my dad grew up there, but I grew up in the Oakland Hills. So it's really interesting to hear his perspective of things and how he grew up. But yeah, I'd say that's just learning about how things were for him, but also knowing how things were for me was able to that learn knowing that was able to help me like with that song specifically.
And
Yeah,
what
I would. Oh, sorry.
and Jordan, what was the name of that song?
It's not out yet, but the name is The Hills Don't Live Like This.
Oh wow, that's
I've actually
amazing.
had the pleasure to hear it. It's a great song. Hopefully it'll come out
Yeah,
soon.
hopefully I'll be able to release it.
Yeah, but
And
I
then
mean,
go for it, Sway.
well, I was just gonna say, coming to USC, it's definitely a very different vibe, and there's a lot of money that I've never seen before in my life. Like, never met people even who, have that kind of money. And so I've definitely heard a lot of negative opinions or remarks when I say that I'm from Oakland, or just I've heard all of the connotations and the assumptions, but personally, I would never change where I grew up. I think that, especially as an artist, it influenced me in every single way. Like, there's no, there's nobody like the people in Oakland. Like, I've never met anyone with that energy. Like, the community is just so strong. Like, we just are always building each other up. Every time there's is a tragedy or is like a heartbreak, like we just always lift each other up, like whether it's with music or food or anything. Like, I just would not change anything about the way I grew up, and I try to let that flow through my music and through who I am as a person.
Now, both of you have music out, And I guess the question I have for you is, when did you know music was going to be part of your life? At what age?
I'm gonna say for me, well, when I was 5, I started doing musical theater, and I went to a Christian elementary school, so we had chapel on Wednesdays, and we always liked to sing in chapel. So, like, it was like a class thing. Like, the third graders got to sing this Wednesday, and then, like, the first graders got to sing, like, the next. So, there was always a lot of singing in my elementary school, but I started thinking that it sounded good, I guess, when I was 9. I had like a specific role in like some Christmas play, and I had a solo in it, and then my parents decided to start putting me in lessons. It was piano lessons at first, and then I sung my solo for my piano teacher, who was also a voice teacher, who was like, "Oh, like you should start taking voice lessons." And then that's when I started singing all the time. And then I went to a performing arts school. We went to the same school.
Yes, yes, yes.
For 6th through 12th.
And what about you, Sway?
I would say I always kind of knew that I wanted to be like a singer, I guess. Like when I was a kid, it was very specific to like, oh, I'm gonna be like a famous pop star. Like similar to Jordan, I started with musical theater, so I was in like choirs and voice lessons in like elementary school, and then in middle school, I was like pretty sure that I was gonna be on Broadway and like wanted to go that route. But I wouldn't say that it was until COVID specifically when like all like shows were shut down and I couldn't do musical theater anymore and like I was just confined to my room that I started like writing myself, and I realized that that was more the avenue that I wanted to take for my future, and I just found like it very healing, especially just in the time, and just I was just really inspired by the fact that I could make something that could make other people feel, like any emotion. And so I would say sophomore year, like 2020, was when I was like, oh, I really want to like be my own artist and be a songwriter rather than just like a singer or like on Broadway.
And before I forget, I want to make sure I put if both of you can put out if they want to follow your music and
Oh
Spotify,
yes.
or if they want to follow you on social media, can you guys both quickly give out your socials and how they'd follow you?
Yes, my Instagram is Suede Avery, so SUEDEAVERY. On Spotify, I'm just Suede, and on TikTok, I'm Suede Sanders.
And then for me, my Instagram is Jordyn Diews Music. So it's going to be JORDYN underscore Dews, DIEWS underscore music. And then on music and all that, it's Jordan Dew. So JORDYN and then Dew, DIEW. And then on TikTok, it's also Jordan Dew. So
So let me ask you this: how did you get into? You said you went to a music high school. What's the name of the high school? How hard is that part of the? Is that a private school? Is it part of the Oakland Unified School District? What made both of you go into that music like an art school?
So we both went to OSA, Oakland School for the Arts.
yeah.
Kaylani and Zendaya also went there, shout out. But it's a charter school, so it's technically a public school, but not like confined to OUSD's same like rules and regulations. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's not a private school. When we first started going in sixth grade, so like 2016, it was strictly just auditions. Like you audition and they like handpick you, and you can.
You had to like write why you wanted to go there too. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah, it was like a whole process. I think it was like a 25% acceptance rate or something.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I like heard that at a summer camp that I had did. But quickly after that, they started doing lottery because it was found to be less equitable because like obviously if you have the money for like voice lessons or like theater classes, then it's like easier for you to get in. So they wanted to give like a broader amount of people the opportunity to attend art school. So now I'm pretty sure it's just like,
I think they got rid of the auditions completely.
Yeah.
They were like fading it out.
Mhm.
It was like 6th grade, like everyone had auditions, and then one year like 6th grade didn't have auditions, and then 7th grade, and then it like
Yeah, and it
fades from
just
that.
slowly started. But I mean, I think it's art school nonetheless, and I think it's good that everyone has an equal opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think how it works now is once you're in, like, you get the opportunity to try out multiple different emphasis, which is like majors, I guess, before you decide what you want to do. Whereas for us, it was way stricter and like a very much of a process to switch. So yeah.
So what kind of pressures did you both of you have when you were in an art school? Because I assume the pressure would be like, I hope I'm good enough, right? I mean, there must be a lot of pressure on you to perform at a high level so that you could get into a great college. I mean, the Thornton School of Business is the Thornton School of Music is one of the top music schools departments in the country. So I'm sure there's pressure for both of you. How did you guys deal with that pressure? And did you feel the pressure? Do you still feel the pressure now?
Yeah,
I would say I feel it a lot more now because
I felt it a lot when I first went to OSA because I was new, and like they have like this in the vocal department, they have this like choir system. So there's like 3 choirs in middle school and 3 choirs in high school, and it's kind of like you want to work to get to like the acapella group like of the choir. So like the acapella group in middle school, well, I don't think it's an acapella group anymore, but when we went there it was, and it was like really difficult to get in. So like that was a pressure I definitely felt, where I wanted to make it into that acapella group. It was very selective and pretty hard to get in. And then even once you were in, like you had to maintain a certain GPA to stay. Like that was another thing. Like if your grades weren't like if you weren't like doing well, or like your GPA wasn't at, I don't remember how high it had to be, but like if you were failing like your classes and stuff, then you wouldn't be able to perform. So but that's like a whole different kind of pressure. But like the pressure mostly like that I was feeling was like I want to try and get into these acapella groups, and then the same with high school. Like I wanted to get into the acapella group there, which was called Vocal Rush, and then also like auditioning for solos for like the big shows that we had. Like we had the winter show, then the spring show. So it was like I really want to solo in the spring show, and they used to have the spring shows at the Fox Theater. So it was like that was like everyone wanted the solo to sing there.
Yeah.
And what was it like for you, Swade? The pressure wise?
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely pressures balancing because half of our day was straight just like like vocal classes, and then the other half was academics, and it was definitely difficult to balance both when academics are very important, obviously, to me and my family, and the idea of going to like a really good college was always like a drive that I had. And we did have like gigs and solo auditions and choirs that like added to like the pressure, and I always was like chasing, like the highest choir, like so it was definitely difficult, and there was pressure, and I had like strong ambitions and goals, but also the school is so small, and like we were all really close, and it was very tight knit, and I think that our teachers did a good job at trying to like make sure that a lot of people got opportunities, and we were all very close, so I don't think it was too toxic of a pressure, but just like a good enough pressure that it was like a push to be the greatest version of ourselves.
So how many I'm this is gonna be two separate questions in some ways, and some people don't like when you ask two separate questions like this, but how many hours a day did you practice vocals versus instruments? And I mean, how much at home are you practicing? I mean, how much of dedication and time do you have to put in because it's such a difficult craft? How many hours are you putting in uh, in high school as compared to now?
You wanna go?
Yeah, I think um when I was in high school, because I was in both vocal and piano lessons, so I'd have to do like I actually had I was struggling with practicing, so like my piano teacher, like you could tell. So my piano teacher, she would like give me like a practice sheet. She's like, at least do an hour of piano lessons a day. And then on top of that, like I had to do vocal lessons, but for me it was easier to practice vocals um like more of the time. So I guess maybe like 2 hours a day, 1 hour for piano, 1 hour for vocal, and then a day off. So like Saturday maybe not. But here it's a little more like longer because because with like the program that they have us in, like they have us learning all these songs. You have to spend more than an hour, like either that or like shred for like 1 day and like you're playing for like 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
But like you don't really want to do that, so definitely like maybe like honest I don't want to say 3 hours a day, but like somewhat at least for the piano part of this program.
I would say it's also different because there was a lot more like practicing for myself in high school.
Yeah.
Like as she was saying, she spent like 2 hours for voice and piano, and like now I try to get 20 minutes of like vocal, like just like technique and like just you know for myself a day. Uh, because also we have like way more material for our classes, and which also includes like voice and like piano and whatnot and theory and like all these different classes which we obviously had in high school, but it was just like it was just different. And now since there's so much more practice that we have to do for like she was saying for our pop class last semester or whatever, it is harder to do like the same sort of practicing that we did in high school for ourselves. But yeah, I would say it's like pretty pretty demanding, but it's also fun, and we have like so it's so rewarding, and we have like we're doing it with our friends, and so
Yeah.
it's not a complaint.
So let me ask you this question. You're going to say, "Oh, I probably haven't had this question," but for someone that doesn't sing like me, I always say, "Oh my God, how do they memorize all those songs? Is it hard to memorize like all the lyrics of a song, especially when you have to sing like a variety of songs?"
It definitely depends on like what the song is. I feel like some like there some when you like get the form of the song down, it's like the choruses are the same, right? So like how I think about it is like I just need to learn the verses and then the chorus is the same. So if the chorus repeats multiple times, then I'm good, and that's less things for me to learn. And then like if the bridge, like how long the bridge is, so like you kind of get used to learning how to memorize it. There are still some songs that I'm like a good example, Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. Like that had me struggling.
Right.
Like
Right.
it's like fast. It's like a fast song. Or like Survivor by Destiny's Child. That's another song we had to do. And that was like so but like for the most part, like you get the form of the song down, so you're able to like.
And it definitely becomes way easier with time.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, I've done my own share of forgetting lyrics, so it's definitely easier said than done. But when it comes to a song, like if you are in touch with the meaning of the song, it's so much easier to memorize the lyrics because you're just thinking about it as like I'm telling this story, and so if you just listen, and like the melody will go with the lyrics and the story goes with the melody, and you know what I mean? It all just kind of becomes one. Like if you're so disconnected from what you're singing about, then of course it's going to be hard to, remember the words, but otherwise it becomes a lot easier.
Oh, it
So
also helps to make like a playlist of all the songs too. gotta listen to them a lot.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
So what advice would you give people if they're trying to learn a specific song that's very challenging to them?
Like lyrically or just technique?
Lyrically.
I would just say, like, figure out what the song is about
Yeah.
and figure out what it means to you and what you're trying to say to your audience or whatever, and what you're trying to say as the artist that you are. And I think once you figure out the message of the song, it becomes just so much easier to memorize the lyrics because you know what you're talking about, you know?
Yeah, I really like what you said about like connecting to the song and then also like finding patterns in the song.
Mm-hmm.
You realize like this part of the song is basically the same as this part, so just figuring out what's the same.
So I have to ask you, you know I'm going to ask you this question at some point. So I'm going to ask you, what genre is your favorite? If I know,
Okay.
and then, um, is there an artist that you kind of model yourself after, or you enjoy the style or type of music they produce?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that there's one artist that I model myself after, but I think like the first artist that I was super drawn to as an artist and not just like their voice or like their music is probably Corinne Bailey Rae. Just because I have never heard like such a fusion of like the jazz with the R&B with the soul with like even like indie rock and like funk all into one, and so I was just very inspired by her like from the ages of like 3, and like I think that can apply now to like Olivia Dean. She's also doing like the whole jazz, R&B, pop, like soul fusion, which is, I would say, the genre that really I'm drawn to personally. But but I listen to everything, and I think like my earlier influences were not just that. Like now I want to like blank on everything ever, but like, you know, Mariah Carey, Stevie
Yeah,
Wonder.
I was literally gonna say those too.
Yeah, like all of the greats were definitely influenced me in every way. Like vocally, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin. Like, yeah, I would. So many great people influenced me, but I wouldn't say like one artist really I want to be or like embody. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'd say growing up, the artists who inspired me, Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, and then also like Beyonce and Alicia
sure.
Keys
For
because of the
sure.
whole singing, playing piano thing.
For sure.
Yeah, so definitely them. Oh, and also Justin Bieber. Like as a kid, I loved him, and
This is number one Justin Bieber fan, y'all. Like,
I love him. Like so, just like all because he had a documentary called Never Say Never. Like that documentary changed my life. Like watch that documentary because that made me think like, oh, like this is what I want to do forever. So that definitely they inspired me. Oh, and like also Keisha Cole, like my parents would play like so many of these of songs from these artists when I was young. And so that kind of like helps develop my music taste in a way, but growing up I've definitely like branched out, and I again like I really like listening to everything like R&B and soul, pop, like
reggae, like what?
right, like I love listening to everything. And I guess like if I had to, it's hard for me to say like who I model my songs after. Like I guess today like Olivia Rodrigo, I love her. I love her songwriting style and stuff like that. But like even like her influences, like everyone's influenced by somebody.
Yeah.
So
How about have any Bay Area artists influenced you at all? I know you saw her, for example, so I'm sure her has influenced you in some way. But are any Bay Area artists that you follow that you really love the style?
Mm, I mean, yeah, definitely her.
yeah.
She has like, she's just insane because she does everything. Like, I am so impressed by her like multi-faceted like even I didn't know she was doing film too. Like every instrument and like her voice is incredible. Her songwriting is incredible. I watched a YouTube video kind of recently, like maybe a few months ago, of her like how she goes about in a writer's room, and I was just like so impressed by her. And then we went to OSA, so I was always inspired by Kaylani just because she grew up literally in the same seat that I grew up in. So I was always super inspired by her as well.
Definitely her, definitely Kaylani, but then also I feel like in the Bay Area, the musicians in the Bay Area seem to be like very connected. So a lot of my peers have inspired me as
For
well.
sure.
Especially going to an art
Be
school.
DeVoe,
Sabeo.
Yes. These are all names that you guys should be looking up right now.
Yeah.
Because they're incredible. But yeah, like all of my teachers and all of my peers did so much of the influencing as well.
And let me ask you this: how do you handle performance nerves? I see if they people.
I don't.
Okay, well that's so. Well, that's
They're not handle.
so that's why I want to go ahead and I want to talk about that a little bit for sure because people can find your music on your socials on YouTube. Um, I would honestly, I would never know either of you were nervous when I saw each of you perform, and sometimes you even perform duets together. That, by the way, are amazing. The duets that you did together were amazing, and the harmonizing and everything was amazing. That's unusual, and that might be because you have been around each other so much. So I know that takes work. How do you overcome those nerves? Or I don't see those nerves. So what are you doing to kind of to alleviate or kind of mitigate those nerves?
I mean, I'm very much still struggling with my nerves, but what I would say, this is something that I've been trying to remember myself. Like similar to how I was saying, remember like what the song's about when you're like worried about lyrics. It all kind of goes together where it's like it's really not about me. Like I was given this gift, you know, of being a musician or being a singer, and really what I want to do is just let it, like I'm just a vessel of it. And so when I try to remove myself and like, well, what is everyone going to think of me, and like how is the audience going to react, and I just think about harnessing this gift and applying it to the song and the message that I'm trying to give the audience, it does become easier, and you don't think about the lyrics and you don't think about um your nerves as much. But it's definitely something that I'm still struggling with, and some performances are, you know, better than others, or it's easier to, or it's harder to apply that. So
yeah, for me, I'm still very much struggling. Like but for me, similar to that, I would just say the one thing, because the one thing that's still helping me, like that's kind of only helping me, is realizing like this is fun. Like this is what I want to do. Like I don't want to not do it. Like I'm not nervous because I don't want to be here. I'm nervous because I care.
Exactly. That's the other thing, is like I am nervous because I love it, and I'm nervous because this is something that I know I need to do with my life, and I have no other choice, and it's important to me. So that's where the nerves come from.
So when you walk out there and you see all those people, like what's going through your mind? Like when you see like an auditorium full, or when you're performing, like what's going through your mind? Are you going, let me just focus on my music, or are you actually looking out at the crowd and engaging with the crowd? Like what are you thinking?
Well, I try to just think about, I mean, usually I'm honestly praying. And I'm like, this isn't like please calm my nerves, like whatever, whoever's here today, I know I have something that someone needs to hear. And I just try to forget, because you know we put the work in, like the technique is there, I know the lyrics, like if I'm to the point where I'm on stage, like the work has been put in, I know I can do it. And I just try to let my mind at ease and just let the song go and give it, you know, to the audience. And once that's happening, it's more natural if I'm like looking at the audience and like interacting and being, because it's out of sight, out of mind, like, but if I go up and I'm immediately just like looking at all these people, then it obviously becomes more difficult.
For me, sometimes I'm looking for the people I know that said they're coming. So I'm like, are you there?
Real.
And then also, like, I'm thinking, like, these people want to see me succeed. Like, they want to see me do well.
Of course.
It's not like they're, well, I don't know. I don't think anyone's preying on my downfall,
Right.
you know? So I just love to think about that. And then, yeah, like, people are cheering. People are nice. Like, they're ready to see what you have to show. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking about.
So let me ask you, duets, and I'm going to get into a little bit of the writing creative part in a minute, but
Mhm.
is it difficult to sing a duet with somebody? And who is your like dream? What's your one of your dreams of who you could sing a duet with?
I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would say it's important to like spend time with the person, like, and get to know their voice, and like it's always harder when you're singing with a new person, especially if you like don't really know how to blend with them and like how they sound and whatever. But I don't think it's hard. It's always so fun. Like I love singing with my friends and everything. And if I could sing with anyone, that's such a difficult question. I'm not sure. I mean, I would love to sing with Cleo Soul. Her voice is incredible, and I feel like blending with her would be amazing. She has such like a soft, like cloud of a voice, so that would be amazing. But literally anyone. I love singing with people.
Yeah, I think part of the fun of duets is figuring out like who's gonna sing what, and then when it sounds good, you're like, yes.
Right. When you get it locked.
Yeah. And then dream person to duet with.
Not me.
Well,
No, I'm
well,
just,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, you. But I'm gonna have to say Justin Bieber.
Right.
I'm gonna have to bring him back.
Justin Bieber. Do not hear it. That's your biggest.
I just, Jordan, listening to you, I don't know if he has your range. I don't know if he
No,
has
he
your range.
does.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure you'll work it out, but you definitely have more range. You're probably a more pure singer. I like Justin Bieber as well, but I think your music is a little bit more pure in some ways. Um, so let me ask you. So when you're writing music, how difficult is it to write music? And if you're writing music with somebody, which I assume you're doing in school at some point, what do you do when you have creative differences?
You want to go? Or I go?
Low key, sometimes it gets awkward when you when you have creative differences. But you just have to like, because I sometimes I struggle with that because then it's like now I'm like concerned about like, will you like my idea or not? So, but it's like important to like realize like you both want to create something. So I guess like the best thing to do is just like don't get stuck in that headspace. Just if someone doesn't maybe like I guess agree or like your idea, just I don't know, come up with like just the more ideas you could come up with and the more ideas you can throw out, the better.
Yeah, totally. What was the question? What was the first half of the question?
How difficult it was for you to, when you're having a creative difference with somebody,
Oh,
and like, how do you work through those creative differences and, get through that kind of writer's block if you have that when you're writing?
I mean, totally like Jordan was saying, just throwing out as many ideas as possible. I mean, initially when I first started having co-writes, what got me wasn't like the fact that other people like didn't like my ideas. It was literally the opposite, and it was like me being in my head and not wanting to like say my ideas, and like the fear of getting shut down. Um, but that's like totally the opposite of what you want to do. Like just getting like no idea is a bad idea. Like even if it doesn't work for that song, like it'll inspire another idea of them, and like that's what's so great about co-writes is like you just get to bounce off each other, and it's like honestly not that it's hard to have like writer's block, but it's usually just a very fruitful experience because two minds and like even just like the smallest little idea will spark something in them, and then you can just bounce off of each other. But I haven't had like any bad experiences. I would say just like coming to the room, like bringing the energy that you want the other person to bring and that you're like ready to bring into the song is important, because like definitely when I'm like tired or it's you know I'm hungry or whatever, it's everything's connected like to what we do, so it's definitely more difficult to give something to the song when you haven't given anything to yourself. But yeah, it's always fun to co-write. It's
So
also good to go into the song.
how let me ask you, Sway, I guess, and Jordan, let me ask you, how long, and I always wonder this because, when I'm working on my writing for what I do,
Mhm.
if it's a very difficult task, it takes a long time to do it, right? So there's when somebody says, well, how long does it take to do that? Well, that could take 2 or 3 months, or that could take me a year to do. How long, and I
Right.
know this is kind of a funky question to ask because you're in classes where you're probably writing music. How
Mhm.
difficult is it to write music if someone says, "Hey, I want you, Swade and Jordan, your homework is to have a song written by 3 weeks from now." How long does it typically take to write a song, or do people, or your professors, or are you writing and say, "Hey, I'll write," or do you ever like say, I wrote some of it and I'll finish it later. It's not a finished product, but this is what I got. How do you
I
like
mean,
how long does it take to write music?
every song is different. We had a class last semester where there was a song every single week, so there was no opportunity. Yeah, there was no opportunity to like come in like half prepared, because you also have to perform it for everyone and like get notes back. Yeah, so there's definitely some pressure with that, but we're also like uh influenced to be writing every day, even if it's obviously not gonna necessarily be a song every day, but just like something to put on paper to just get your inner artist, like it's a muscle, that you have to work. Um, but well, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, also, like, I feel like you said, it takes a different process for like different songs.
Mhm.
Some songs like I'm actually able to write in like 30 minutes because
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas that are coming out and I'm able to finish it like
Yeah.
the song quick.
Mhm.
And then other times like I'll write something one day and then I'll come back to it, and then the next day I come back to it, I realize I don't really like what I wrote down the day before.
Yeah.
So it just kind of takes like it's different for every song, I'd say.
Yeah, like some is so like I just randomly get an idea and it feels like, the best thing ever, but it's not always going to be like that, and you can't like bank on like an idea magically coming every time. So it's definitely important to exercise like the muscle. But I have so many half-written songs, one verse, like a million of them sitting in my voice memos and in my notes, and it's like it's just the process, and like technically sure a song could take literally forever because it'll sit there, and then like one day I'm go to write a song and then I like discover it and I'm like, wait, this is actually super cool, and then I work with that. But literally could take 30 minutes, could take a month, like could take however long.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I asked the Swade and Jordan of high school what they could have changed, or what they wish that they had known before they started university studying it, what would both of you say, advice wise, to
I
give
would
to somebody?
say I would say exercise the muscle. Like carve time out to like do your piano, like work on your like vocals, work on your songwriting, just like practice. Practice is so 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 important, and I could have definitely done it, more of it.
Yeah, I'd say work on piano because they really have you play piano here. Like, and I just didn't, I wasn't expecting to be playing piano this much. Like, I would have warned myself. Like, yeah.
But are both of you glad that you ended up going to USC and such a rigorous music school? I mean, in retrospect, because I'm sure at some points you were probably saying, well, maybe is this really a good fit for me? Because this is way more rigorous than maybe I thought, especially like you said in piano or Suede was saying in the vocal portion. She wish she would have practiced more. Did you ever get to a point where you're like, I'm going to power through this because I love this? Or were you ever like ever doubting yourself a little bit, like, can I do this? Or like, how did you,
I'm not
how
sure.
do you get through that?
Yeah, I feel like I doubt myself all the time. Like I'm joking about the piano, like realistically, like yeah, it's really hard, but at the same time, it's nothing that like I don't need to get better at it. Like
Right.
everything that I'm doing here with piano is just helping me to become a better pianist. So I'm really, really grateful to be taking classes that really push me in that skill. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Yeah.
We like always wanted to go to USC. Like whenever we found out about the pop program, there was no question that we wanted to go. So it's obviously like coming here and like everyone is so incredible and so talented. Like there's always going to be days where it's like, do I belong here? Like is this like for me? But you have to remember like music is our first love. Like,
Yeah.
like it's we wouldn't have given everything to be here, and if it wasn't what we knew we really wanted to do.
Does the school, does the school provide you with resources, or do you have to kind of like in your own mind, because you're both graduating soon, not this year, but very soon. Um, and I know both of you perform already. What is going on in terms of like planning for your future? Like, I know I want to be a pop artist, or I know I want to get into this genre. Like, I know it's a very competitive. It's one of the most competitive fields. It's almost like playing professional basketball or playing a professional sport, right?
Yeah.
It's very difficult. What are both of you in your own minds like doing to plan? And you've already, like I said, you both have published already, and you both have music out there. Like, what's the next step for all of you, for both of you in the future?
Um, I feel like the school definitely does give us resources because how like the school one thing I really like about the school is like it's kind of it's kind of giving what life would be like but like after school but like you're able to kind of like practice it with school and with the schedule and stuff. It gives you a chance to like network with people who are
Right,
like
that's what I was
maybe like producers or like industry like majors and stuff. It gives you a chance to really like make and build these connections with people that can like ultimately like really help you and you can help them succeed in what like you want to do and stuff. And then also like the classes, they put us in classes that are really helpful for us in the future. So like I'm taking like a Logic Pro class, which is definitely something that even when I graduate, because I'm taking this class, like I'll be able to continue making music for myself and stuff. And yeah, like definitely the school does give very good resources and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say like all of our professors, like while we learn so much from them and like they have opportunities to give us, like just as much if not more, our opportunities just come from each other. Like these are the people who are gonna be who we work with, outside of the school. Like just everyone, we have like people in film, like just next door to the Thornton school, to work with, and like even outside of Thornton. But yeah, just each other, I would say, is a very big like way of establishing the future.
So, where do you see where do both of you see yourselves in 10 years? Ideally, like if I said, hey, I have a magic wand, Sweet, I have a magic wand, Jordan, for these two wonderful people from Oakland. Boom, 10 years from now, what would you do? What do you picture yourself doing?
I mean, I want to sing and I want to write. Like, I want to write for myself, but I also want to write for other people. And, like Jordan was saying, we're in logic class, so hopefully I can get better at producing. That would also be a great um, opportunity. But yeah, I mean, I want to be an artist and I want to write for other people.
Yeah, I want to sing. I want to write. Even like tour the world is one of my biggest things.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I think you're both amazing. You're very, very lucky that I'm not making you sing and I'm not pressuring you to do so.
Well, go
But
look us up on Spotify if you
so, well,
want to
so that,
hear.
right. So that's what I want to get into. So, a couple things. How would somebody look up your music on YouTube and the socials? Can you both give us kind of rundown how they would find that on Spotify and so forth again? And then also, I want to ask you, how can people follow your performances? I know that Thornton has performances quite often. What's a way for people to follow that?
Our Instagram.
Yeah, our Instagrams. We definitely post.
All of our shows and everything
Yeah.
will be on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Our stories. We post, like, if we have a show on Friday, like, you'll hear about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, it'll be on our story. So yeah, my Instagram is Saude Avery, SuedeAvery, and then my Spotify, Suede, Suede. You should all go listen to my first single. It's called Summertime.
Yes. It's so good.
It's
the
just
song of the summer if you're
right.
looking for one.
Pretend it's the summer still, because it very much encapsulates that summer feel. So yes.
Yeah, and then the same for me. My Instagram is Jordyn Diews Music, JORDYN_Dews DIWS, and then underscore music.
MUSIC.
Yeah. And then my Spotify is just Jordyn Diew, JORDYN Diew DIEW.
You know, I would love to do maybe a year, like next year, something, sometime. We can do. You guys, both of you can play your music on here. We can set it up, or we could do the podcast where you have access to your the ability to sing and perform. I think that I think I'm so lucky to have both of you on here, so talented and representing Oakland so well. And yeah, I'd love to have you come on and sing because both of you have to listen to their music. It's like amazing to hear, and the energy that comes out of both of them is amazing. Like I said, the duet that you did together is amazing. I love that you're both such close friends and you support one another. But your voices are amazing. So
Thank you.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were like 3.
Yeah.
So
Here's my last questions for you before I go is um favorite favorite musician to listen to, the favorite musician you can listen to every day.
Stevie.
I was gonna say Stevie Wonder. I was literally the past 2 days. That's all I've been listening to today. Like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put Stevie Wonder on shuffle, and that's how I've been listening. I literally was gonna say that.
See, like, I don't know.
Wonder.
He's the GOAT. Like, enough said.
Okay, if you could meet one person in your lifetime, and it can be any time in the history of the world, who would it be, and what would you say?
Wait, give me one person.
Okay, so you can go ahead, think of one person you can in the history of the world that you would love to meet. Who would it be, and what would you say?
I would meet Jesus.
Oh yeah, duh. I'd meet
So-
Jesus.
Okay, and then what would you say?
I would just
I would
ask
say
him.
thank you.
Yeah, I would ask him if I'm doing okay, and I'd say
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So what would you ask? Sorry, same.
I would just say thank you. I would say thank
Aw.
you, and I would be like, what do I do now?
yeah. Like I'm like, so what
Where
do
do
you recommend?
Right, where do you want me to
What do you recommend? I need some advice. I think that's a question we all have to ask Jesus throughout our entire lifetime, probably. And then,
Definitely.
And then what's your favorite guilty pleasure food wise? Like, what's the food that you know is bad for you, but you love eating it?
Um, Scandinavian swimmers from Trader Joe's. Those are literally my favorite candy ever. Like honestly, any like sour candy is like my favorite.
For me, it's a little ratchet, but I like making like homemade nachos. So like I'll get like tortilla chips
We
and
used to always make homemade nachos.
it's yeah. Actually, yeah. Wait, I got it from you.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
We used to do carpool in middle school, and every time after school we would make nachos at my house.
yeah.
No, that's
I
not.
love
That's actually not too ratchet because you can make them pretty healthy nowadays too. But I appreciate both of you being on here today. Till next time, and more amazing guests. And like I said, I'm going to have Saude and Jordyn on in the future. You guys promise you're going to be on and sing, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have you on the podcast here. So till next time, keep learning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Till next
Thank
time,
you for having us.
keep learning, everybody. Take care.